so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. We want to welcome you all here today, and we ask you now to please bow for a moment of silence. Amen. Mr. Melchers, you start or just Dr. Spearman's? I didn't see him anywhere. There he is. Well, Dr. Spearman, take it.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, our first order of
Get closer to that mic.
business would be to set the next commission meeting. If we stay on a regular schedule, it will be at 2 in the afternoon on Wednesday, August 22nd.
Okay. Thank you.
Been a long Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, on our utility agenda, item number 1.
Dr. Spearman, we're going to need you to get a little closer to that microphone, I think. Now we're seeing. Yeah, it's get right in front of it. Act like you're singing a tune.
On our utility agenda, item number 1, docket number 2010-37C, is a second amendment interconnect.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Second Amendment to the interconnection agreement between Bell South Telecommunications LLC, doing business as AT&T South Carolina, and CBTS Technology Solutions LLC. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
And item number 2, doc number 2017-294C, request for Tower Cloud to cancel its certificate. It has been merged into Southern Light.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the request for the cancellation of Tower Cloud Incorporated Certificate of Public Convenience. So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries.
Item number 3, doc number 2018-254G, the gas agreement between Waste Management of Georgia and SCE&G.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Waste Management of Georgia Incorporated and SCE&G. I would note that the Office of Regulatory Staff does not object to the company's filing.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries.
And item number 4, doc number 2018-72E, Duke Energy Carolinas, seeking approval of its Rider 10, the Demand Side Management and Energy Efficiency Rider.
Commissioner Urban.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Duke Energy Carolina LLC's application for approval of their Demand Side Management, DSM, and Energy Efficiency, EE, Rider 10, subject to adjustments made by the Office of Regulatory Staff. Based on its review of the company's filing, the Office of Regulatory Staff concluded that the programs are performing well and that the rider was developed in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth by this Commission and based upon reasonable estimates of participation in the company's DSM and EE programs. This rider shall be effective from January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2019. Accepting the ORS adjustments, the average residential customer using 1,000 kilowatts per month would experience an increase of approximately 71 cents per month. The main drivers for the increase in the residential rate are the recovery of uncollected balances or true-ups and the increased participation in and increased effectiveness of these programs. So, Mr. Chairman, I recommend that the company consider the parties' comments on this docket as it evaluates and implements its DSM and EE programs going forward. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 5, doc number 2018-255E, Duke Energy Progress, seeking approval of its demand-side management and energy efficiency rider without notice or hearing.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we deny the company's motion for waiver of notice and hold it in abeyance, the request for waiver of hearing until the intervention period has expired. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 6, doc number 2017-207E, we have a request to withdraw intervention.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Elam.
Mr. Chairman, I move we grant the request to withdraw the petition to intervene of the listed parties there in item 6. So moved.
You've heard Commissioner Elam's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 7, doc number 2018-3E, we have a request for confidential treatment of Exhibit 3 is Stephen Capp's direct testimony.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
I move that we grant the request for confidential treatment of Exhibit 3 of Stephen D. Capp's direct testimony. The company represents that Exhibit 3 is entitled to protection under the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act and contains certain proprietary and confidential information relating to sensitive outage information that, if disclosed, could negatively impact DEC's ability to safely and reliably provide effective service to its customers.
You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 8, doc number 2018-248E, is an electric contract between Shaw Industries and SCE&G and a request for confidential treatment of the contract.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Elam.
Mr. Chairman, I move we grant the request for confidential treatment of certain indicated terms of the contract for electric service. Shaw Industries has recently completed a cogeneration combined heat and power plant at its fiber production facility in Columbia. The electricity and steam produced will meet Shaw's entire steam demand and replaces the majority of electricity currently supplied by South Carolina Electric and Gas Company, with an estimated reduction of 26,000 tons annual greenhouse gas emissions. SCE&G represents that due to the commercial sensitivity and proprietary nature of certain provisions of the contract, as well as the highly competitive nature of the industry in which its customer, Shaw Industries, operates, Shaw requested, and the company agreed to keep certain terms of the contract confidential. The company represents that these terms are entitled to protection under the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. The Office of Regulatory Staff does not object to the company's filing. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Elam's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 9, doc number 2017-381A. This is the docket relating to the Tax Act job cuts. Actually, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We have requests from Office of Regulatory Staff for hearing or oral argument.
Chairman,
Commissioner Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we direct staff to set oral arguments expeditiously. However, I further move that we strongly encourage the parties to continue to negotiate with a goal of resolving the remaining issues. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
And item number 10, doc number 2018-171E. Ms. Lutz asking for reconsideration of Commission Order number 2018-497.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
thank you. The reason stated in our July the 11th, 2018 ruling, I move we deny the motion for reconsideration and direct staff to return any further submissions on these previously determined matters. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
And item number 11, doc number 2018-213E. Brianna Fenderson Bibbs is requesting to withdraw her complaint. The matter has been resolved.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant Ms. Bibbs' request to withdraw her complaint due to the satisfactory resolution of her issues through the outstanding work of Chad Campbell at the Office of Regulatory Staff. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that completes the utility agenda. On the transportation agenda, item number 1, doc number 2018-253T is the application of first-class limousine. Class C.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Chairman, I move we approve the application of first-class limousine NG LLC for a Class C charter certificate. Chairman, it was NJ, not NG.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Hamilton. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. The questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 2, doc number 2017-178T, GE and S LLC requesting cancellation of its certificate.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the request of GE and S LLC to cancel Class C taxi certificate number 9267. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 3, doc number 2016-381T, Way Transit Services requesting cancellation of its certificate.
Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
I move we grant the request of Way Transit Services LLC to cancel their Class C, and that's a non-emergency certificate. That number is 9251. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
And item number 4, doc number 2300T, Margit Tower, doing business as AK Transportation, requesting cancellation of its certificate.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
I move we grant the request of Marjet Carew to cancel their Class C tax certificate number 6959A.
You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 5, docket number 2001-192T, Stephen E. Dockery, doing business as Jocelyn Charter and Tours, requesting to amend certificate for name change.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin.
I move to grant the request of Stephen E. Dockley doing business as Joshua's Charter and Tours to amend Class C Charter Bus Certificate Number 0121-A to read Joshua's Charters and Tours, LLC.
You've heard Commissioner Irvin's motion. Questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Item number 6, doc number 2004-238T, Brady Services Incorporated, requesting to amend its certificate for name change.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
I move to grant the request of Frady Services, Inc. to amend Class E Household Goods Certificate Number 9743 to read Frady Service Incorporated, doing business as Frady's Moving.
You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the ayes have it.
And item number 7, doc number 2018-259T. We have a joint motion to dismiss the complaint, Christy Reno against JMS Worldwide.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Hamilton.
Chairman, I would move that we grant the joint motion to dismiss agreed to and submitted by all parties. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that completes the business agenda for today.
Thank you, Dr. Spearman. Ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to take a short break, and we're going to reconvene at 2:30 for a very happy time to officially get our newest commissioner, Commissioner Justin Williams, sworn in. So at this time, the commission business meeting is over, and we will reconvene at 2:30. Thank you.
See you. Fine, sir. How are you?
How you doing? I know everybody's sitting up there. You know, he goes back so far, he came to Fairfield County and spoke when Kenny Goode was sworn in. He did a good job with that. I was there. I was on the city council. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, Kenny, we lost him, you know. He was my best. I met him my very first day. And I'm sorry. Look, man, he was my hero when he was at PC. When he was working at PC. Somebody I could call and talk to. Hey, Jake, I'm calling him a hero. He's my hero too because he took that gavel on July 1.
How's he been doing? Fine. Yeah, July 1st. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for those kind words about you.
Yeah, that was, I tell you, you did, I remember when you did that. I was on Winsboro City Council at the time, and
I was
that
talking about all Kenny's mamas.
was, you were.
They said, anybody here that's one of Kenny Goode's mamas, please stand up. About 20
About half the courtroom,
Please be seated. I want to welcome everyone here to this special occasion, one we're glad to get our commission back to full numbers here. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Mr. Jake Moore, there he is, and the Honorable Gilda Cobb Hunter to come up and ask Commissioner Williams to come down and meet them in front, and we will proceed. You going first, Mr. Moore?
I'm happy. I am at your disposal.
Who's doing the actual swearing in? Okay, why don't you go first and then we'll, Mr. Moore, I have to say, I'm very pleased to have him here. He's a good Presbyterian College graduate before all this, and we even lived across the hall from each other in the dorm one year, and we were the leaders in good behavior. So I just wanted everybody to know that.
Thank you, sir. You were very kind. I would like to take a moment and thank Commissioner Williams for asking me to be here to speak. I can promise you I am truly honored to have this opportunity. Over the past several years, Justin has become a tremendous friend of mine. I value his friendship greatly. He has been a friend, confidant, a helper, and a tremendously valuable member of our law firm. Today is a happy day. It's a great day. But for us, a little bit sad, because we're basically giving the state of South Carolina a valuable part of the Moore Taylor family, and we shall miss him on a day in and day out basis. You know, in August of 2018, this commission faces some pretty tough issues. The legislature has been grappling with issues, and the PSC has challenges in front of it, really like nothing we've ever seen before. South Carolina is fortunate, very fortunate, to have joining this commission Justin Williams. All of you know this young man. You know about his career. He's a scholar. He really is. He's the former president of the student body at Carolina. He's a soldier, which he's serious about. He's a former solicitor, where he was known as being strong, smart, caring, and kind to everyone. He's a doggone good lawyer, and I shall miss him greatly. He's a good husband. He's a good son. He loves his family very much. I know just how much this young man does love his family and his community. If you're around him very much and have time to have lunch with him or just talk, we hear a lot about you. He's very proud of you. You know, I'm 66 years old now, which is a fact that's very hard for me to believe. And it's been impressed upon me by my partners that I need help. And I do need help. It's hard when you're trying to run a litigation law firm. Find a person to help you that you can trust. There are lots of people with law degrees, but there are only a handful that you can trust with your business. In every matter that I've ever entrusted to Justin Williams, he has come through. He has been honorable, hardworking, thorough, and professional. There's never one time in the years that I have practiced with Justin that he's ever let me down. When I turn something over to Justin to handle, I rest easy because I know that a true professional and a fine man is working with me in the pursuit of justice. When I first met Justin, you could tell right away that he was smart. Smart people are a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. But when you first met Justin, it's easy to recognize that he's more than smart. He's special. That smile, that affable personality, and just the innate goodness of this man exudes from every fiber in his body. Our world needs more people like Justin Williams. Justin, I can say this, and I know him. Justin Williams is more than a smart lawyer. He's a very fine South Carolina gentleman, and I have been privileged to become his friend. Justin's the kind of person that gives me reason to hope. In today's world, we look around and we see things looking like they're falling apart. I'm sure the people on this commission kind of feel the same way with some of the things we've seen lately that none of us ever thought we would see in the news. But Justin is the kind of person that gives me hope that things are going to get better. Justin, the man that you are, wherever you are, it's a reflection on those people that raised you. You're what every mom and dad wants a son to be. And you did a nice job. He's the kind of man that makes his mom and dad proud. And he's the kind of man that I've been proud to practice law next to. You are a reflection of a very fine family. People use the word sometimes gentleman in a very flippant fashion. The word gentleman comes from a combination of two words, the word gentle and the word man. Justin is kind, sensitive. He has impeccable manners. But let there be no question, the fact that he is gentle does not take away from the man that he actually is. If you take a look at the way he faced his military challenges, he recently served 30 days in Korea. He was prepared to go for 6 months and longer, he told me. And he faced it with courage, conviction, and a spirit like nothing I have seen. I talked about the word courage, and Justin certainly has his share of that. A lot of people think that courage is the absence of fear. That is not what courage is. Only a fool has no fear. Courage is the ability to act rationally in the face of fear. And I can promise you, my friend Justin Williams is a courageous man. Today more than ever, this commission is under stress. But I can promise you this, that Justin will face the challenges he has before him with honesty, with good common sense, with a strong intellect, and with the grace and courage that we all know this young man is endowed with. We need people of courage and integrity like Justin. There's no doubt in my mind the legislature has chosen the right person. This commission, we watch them work. They work every day. The staff works very, very hard. I know some of the people who work here, and they are fine individuals. This commission is charged with some pretty heavy duties, a very heavy responsibility. Some of the work looks rote as we sit in a meeting approving this, that, and the other, but it's far from rote. Responsibilities of the PSC, especially with the energy situation in this state, are significant. I know of no better person to serve, and I congratulate you on your choice of Justin Williams to occupy this seat. Justin, I will tell you this, my friend. I have been honored to have your shingle next to mine. I promise you this. If you ever get tired of being over here, if I'm still here, you can put your shingle next to mine any day. We got a room for you at Moore Taylor, okay?
Yes, sir.
Folks, I do thank you for allowing me to come. Again, it is a special privilege for me to be here on this happy occasion. And Justin, we sincerely congratulate you and want nothing but the best for you. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
may I take a point of personal privilege? I see that
Absolutely.
Senator Malloy walked into the room, and we didn't know whether or not he'd be able to make it or not, and I would not want to have this occasion go on without at least giving him an opportunity to say a few words before the swearing in. Whether he takes it or not, I respect him very, very much and would like to give him that honor.
We'd absolutely like for Senator Malloy to come speak. I know he won't be short of words.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to all of you, good afternoon. I have had a distinct pleasure of doing cases with Jake Moore before, and have contributed to his and my retirement. And Jake is a great lawyer, and I know that Jake would only end up having folks in his firm that are great lawyers. But before he was a lawyer, I knew Justin, and Justin was a page over at the Senate, and so that's where I met him. And who knows what happens in your life whenever you meet people and you share a small moment with them. Justin came over to the State House this year and said that he was going to run for the Public Service Commission. And he came to me and he says, "You don't remember telling me something," he says, "but it was one of the most impactful things in my life." And I said, "What is that?" He said, "Well, you and I were having a conversation and we were talking about the keys to success in life, practice of law, and those kinds of things. And this wisdom was given to me by a young man many years ago. So I asked him, I said, "What's the key to your life? What happens?" And I know that we have the basics that he already has taken care of. He respects and responds to a higher calling. He is true to his family. He has a tremendous work ethic. Those are the things that we're supposed to have as a given. And so he said, what you said to me then was that so I get up at 4:30 in the morning and do my work. And if you start at 4:30 in the morning, not necessarily at a particular time, start at 4:30, while everybody else is maybe asleep. By the time when everybody else gets going, you may have finished what you're doing as it goes along in the day, and you're able to adjust. He says it's painful sometimes. He says because I have to go to bed early at night. And says it's punishing, but with the many hats that I wear, besides being a husband, son, maybe a grandparent that's here, grandparents, and the work that he has done in this law firm and in this community, he's wearing all of these hats in and out of boxes. And so what we saw is from that young man who was a page on that day that came forward to a person that presented himself to the General Assembly to ask for their support in being a commissioner was a very easy call to see the gaps that he had filled in on his own from the time that he was a young man in college to the time to be the person that he is today. And so with that, I just wanted to applaud Justin for the work that he has done in his life and in his profession and career, and to applaud his family for the work that they have done in their responses to him and in their relationship with him. To all of you for your support, for what he has done with you and around you, and for the General Assembly for having the wisdom to end up getting one of our favorite sons here to serve on this commission. We know that he will carry out his duties and responsibilities, and he knows that whenever a decision comes before him, he will handle it the same way that he has handled his life, fairly, responsibly, and he will end up working hard. God bless all y'all. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words, Justin.
Thank you, Senator Malloy. Now we want Representative Gilda Cobb Hunter. Ms. Hunter, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and let me just say, for the record, I'm not an attorney, just a little social worker trying to do good. And I don't quite know, following these two illustrious members of the bar, how a little social worker might be able to withstand it. But Justin asked me to do it, so I'm going to do my very best. I am so thrilled and so honored to be a part of this ceremony. And I want to just ditto everything that Mr. Moore and Senator Malloy said about Justin Williams and the kind of man that he is. And I want to acknowledge his family, particularly his grandparents, Miss Wright Lord, his mom. I mean, he is from good stock on both sides. And of course, his best half, Sister Stacy, who is just a rock, and I think he would agree, the wind beneath his wings. Although remarks have been made, and I am going to swear him in, I feel compelled to just say one or two things, if that's okay. And I'm going to say it whether it's okay or not. Here's what I'd like you to know. When I first met Justin, and Justin, would you believe I'm just really making the connection to who your family in Orangeburg is? Honey, I know your people. I know them very well and have worked with them for years. But when Justin first approached me about supporting him, and for those of you who watch the General Assembly, you know we move real fast, and some of us move faster than others, and I am probably one of the ones who is constantly in motion. First time he said something to me, it was like, okay, hey, Second time, I listened to him. And I don't know about y'all, but there are times and there are people, when you're in their presence, you just know that there's something special about them. And it makes you want to really pay attention to what they're saying. Mr. Moore has already talked about how special Justin is. I want you to know that for me, as a member of the South Carolina legislature and as a person of color, it is important for me to have diversity reflected as much as possible, wherever possible. But what you also should know about me is that diversity is important, but for me, capacity is equally as important. Competency is equally as important. Because when you focus just on diversity, and when you focus just on color, you leave yourself open to charges of incompetence. I want you to know, if you don't already, that when we talk about Justin Williams, we are talking about diversity, we are talking about color, but for me, we are also talking about competence. This young man is more than qualified to carry on the responsibilities of the Public Service Commission. We've heard conversations, Mr. Moore alluded to it in his comments, about the tough road these guys behind me have to hoe as far as the PSC and all that is swirling around them. Please know that for me, it's important that a commissioner have a perspective that includes ratepayers and how they think, consumers and what's in the best interest of consumers, but by the same token, business, industry, and what's important to business and industry. Because as a state, we will not thrive with a focus on just one of those pieces. Justin Williams, in my view, answers all the questions, fits all the pieces together. And so I was thrilled, very thrilled, to support him, to work for him, and to do all that I could to make sure that today happens. I didn't do that because I thought he might ask me to do this. Quite frankly, I was shocked because I am the kind of person who learned years ago you'd be surprised at what you can get done when you don't care who gets the credit. I want the commissioners who are behind me to know that you have a colleague joining you or has joined you who is more than up to the task. He is someone who I'm proud of. I know his family is proud of him. And I've talked enough because now I'm beginning to repeat what has already been said. And y'all have been very kind and very patient, but it's time to get on with this. And so with that, I would ask if Commissioner Justin Williams would please come forward for the oath of office. You gonna hold the Bible, baby? Or something? You work just as hard. Y'all give her a hand. She worked just as hard. I hope I didn't embarrass you. Okay. Okay. You know what? Let me not be fancy. Let's do this. All right, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You excited?
Very.
You? Very. Ooh. Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
please place your left hand on the Bible, which you've already done while I was messing with y'all, and raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear,
I do solemnly swear,
as a commissioner of the Public Service Commission
as a commissioner of the Public Service Commission
of South Carolina,
of South Carolina,
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been elected,
to exercise the duties of the office of which I've been elected,
to which I've been
elected.
Okay. I wouldn't want them to come back like they did. Y'all, I'm sorry, but you know I editorialize. I wouldn't want us to have to redo this like they did when President Obama was sworn in, remember? We don't want that. And that I will, to the best of my ability,
And that I will, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Mr. Williams, consider yourself duly elected, oath all up, and everything else. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Mr. Commissioner Justin Williams.
Thank you very much. So, believe it or not, I did not know that I was supposed to make any remarks, as my name is really not on the program. So I'll keep this short. It's 2:57. The reception starts at 3:30. So I'm going to try to stay within about 5 minutes. I'm going to ask my right hand to help me with that. So before I give brief remarks, I would just like to thank my wife. She is an outstanding individual who can stand on her own. Believe it or not, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I asked her whether or not she wanted to be a stay-at-home wife. And she told me that it'd be easier for me to go to work as opposed to be your stay-at-home wife because you'd be too demanding. And so I think that speaks more to her independence and her will to be her own individual and make her parents and family proud, more so than how demanding I am. And I appreciate her competence, her character, and all of her support through this process and many others. To my fellow commissioners, Senator Malloy, Representative Cobb Hunter, my former boss, Jake Moore, my good friend and former boss, Stanley Myers, my former colleagues, Will Edwards, Nick Riley, my longtime friends, Daryl Campbell, Dwight Drake, my classmate, Rebecca Doolin, to my former opponent, Florence Belzer, who graced us here. Florence and I had a lot of conversation when we were out trying to get elected, and one of the things I told her, I said, just because we're working against each other doesn't mean we can't be civil. And we were very friendly towards each other, and she, my wife, and Florence got to know each other very well. The director, newly named Executive Director of ORS, Nanette Edwards, thank you very much for being here. My good friend, Christopher Jackson, my former boss, April Sampson and colleague, Ms. Taylor. Hey, how you doing? Stephanie Taylor. Obviously, my mother, Miss Judy Williams, my grandmother, Miss Gladys Wright, my grandfather, Mr. Thomas Wright, one of my best friends and best men, yes, sir, Carlos Cato, my uncle Kenneth Ayers, my cousin Belicia Ayers, my cousin Victoria Gray, my father Sean Williams, my father-in-law Dr. Edwin Ayers and his wife, Miss Lib Ayers, and my aunt and uncle, Dr. and Mrs. Gray. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to be here today. This has been a long road. Oh, I forgot. My cousin, Attorney Alicia Brown, and a good friend, Minister Moyer McCoy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very long road for me to get here. Just to give you a briefing, around February of this year, an announcement came out. I think it was around February that there was going to be an election for the Public Service Commission. I decided to pursue that course. It's a very exhausting process. There's a long application involved. There's a test involved. There's a intensive interview involved. And then if you make it out of committee, you have to run essentially a small campaign before the General Assembly. Fortunately enough, I was able to have warriors on my side, warriors of the likes of Senator Malloy and Representative Cobb Hunter, and a very, very supportive law firm and family. And we were able to successfully win that race. And right after that, Uncle Sam said I needed to go to Korea. Came back about 2 weeks ago and took a week to get used to Eastern Standard Time again. And then for training, went to Michigan State for a utility conference. And now we're here. I would not be where I am today without the support of my family and my friends, and without the grace and mercy of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. When I ran, the question was, well, what kind of commissioner will Justin be? What is his temperament? And what I will tell you is that I'm a country boy from Wagner, South Carolina. The icons in my life go back to my great-grandparents, two well-known individuals on my mother and my father's side. Rachel Wright was an outstanding leader in Orangeburg County, who as a woman in the early 1900s was able to run a farm and a small business with the help of her sons and her daughters. And Johnny Williams, who was a farmer in Aiken County, who was well known. And those two icons, they really led a life that forced you to live up to a high standard. Hard work was the standard. Treating people the right way was the standard. And as time progressed, academics became a part of that standard. And I'm fortunate to stand on their shoulders. Now, mind you, I said my great-grandparents. I don't have enough time to talk about my grandparents and my parents. But one of the things that was passed along through my family on both sides is to appreciate the opportunities that you're given, to be humble, and to treat people with dignity and respect. And that's the kind of commissioner that I will be, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your issues may be, you will be treated with dignity, respect. You'll be treated fairly and without any bias. And so, 5 minutes, we got 1 more minute. And so with that being said, I will approach any and all decisions that I have to make with that mentality. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank Terrace and her husband for their support. I want to thank George for being here. And I want to thank everyone that I did not name and I do not know for being here. I'm sure I will see you again. I see my former assistant, Betty, in the back. Thank you for being here. There's a reception at 1801 Grill. If you can make it, I would love to have you. And again, I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that has been bestowed upon me. With that, I have nothing else. Again, the reception is at 1801 Grill, and I hope that you can make it. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Just want to say we're so very proud to have Commissioner Justin Williams join us. All of his family, Stacy, we are so glad to have you all here today, and come back anytime. We'd love to have you here for anything that we've got going on. Senator Malloy, Representative Gilda Cobb Hunter, Mr. Jake Moore, one of my old friends. We always have to couch all that from old PC days, but we're so glad that y'all could participate in this with us, and we're very happy that you are here today. I think we've accomplished all of the missions of the day, so all we've got left to do is have a very fine reception. And so this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.